Helen DeWitt's cult classic explodes every rule of modern fiction. Prepare to feel brilliantly outmatched. A dazzling premise powers this linguistic odyssey. Sibylla Newdigate is a single mother raising genius son Ludo in London. She works soul-crushing shifts, typing subtitles for bad action films. To compensate, she immerses Ludo in an extreme curriculum of classics and languages. By age 6, Ludo reads Homer in Greek and solves advanced equations for fun. Yet Sibylla refuses to tell him his father's identity, fearing emotional dependency. Instead, she shows him Kurosawa's Seven Samurai on endless VHS loops. Ludo absorbs the film as moral blueprint and begins seeking worthy father figures. So begins a quest that fuses pop culture, myth, and raw intellect. DeWitt frames this with brisk, modular scenes that mimic cinematic cuts. The premise feels audacious, yet emotionally grounded, hooking you quickly. If that setup excites you, the novel only grows more surprising. Everything hinges on language, repetition, and their power to shape identity. Mathematical riddles share page space with fart jokes, honoring childish wonder. The contrast prevents the genius portrait from turning precious or sterile. Even chapter titles, like equations, demand playful participation. You will probably fail sometimes, and that failure becomes part of the fun. Instant rereading feels irresistible because new layers pulse beneath each pun. That density means the premise alone could supply hours of spirited discussion. Narrative structure here is both puzzle and performance. The novel rejects traditional chapters, preferring numbered streams of thought and dialogue. Pages may contain Greek, Japanese, Inuit, or invented phonetic spellings. DeWitt trusts readers to keep up without footnotes or translation glossaries. This risk pays off because the confusion mirrors Ludo's restless curiosity. You decode meaning alongside him, celebrating each breakthrough. Montage techniques echo film editing, jump cutting between educational drills and philosophical musings. The pace never drags despite dense references, because variation keeps rhythm unpredictable. Still, some readers may feel overwhelmed by sheer erudition. That challenge is intentional. Mastery demands effort, mirroring the book's thematic core. When patterns click, the effect feels electric. You move from passive consumer to active collaborator. Few contemporary novels reward rereading as richly. Margin sketches mimic Ludo's notebooks, extending the text into visual argument. Fonts change to indicate shifting speakers, echoing comic book panel cues. Sound effects appear phonetically, turning pages into audible space. DeWitt thereby collapses boundary between reading and listening. The result anticipates multimedia storytelling haunting current digital platforms. Reading feels like solving an escape room designed by Pynchon and Satoshi. Characterization stays intimate despite the intellectual fireworks. Sibylla's exhaustion pulses through clipped inner monologues and dark humor. Her fierce love coexists with resentment toward patriarchal gatekeepers. Ludo's voice shifts from precocious child to analytical teen with uncanny authenticity. He can recite Icelandic sagas, yet still aches for bedtime stories. Secondary figures appear as potential samurai, filmmakers, scholars, even a failed aviator. Each candidate reveals different models of masculinity and mentorship. None fully satisfies, sharpening Ludo's resolve to script his own code. Moments of tenderness surface within intellectual sparring, preventing cold detachment. DeWitt also satirizes academic pretension through witty set pieces. A disastrous lecture tour becomes both comedy and thesis on knowledge transmission. Characters feel alive because their ideas have stakes. You root for them to communicate, not merely survive. Sibylla's backstory, hinted through footnotes, includes heartbreaking academic disappointments. These scars fuel her obsession with giving Ludo every possible tool. We glimpse short flashbacks of Greek islands and Oxford libraries. Such fragments enrich character without derailing the primary momentum. Emotional stakes rise quietly until a sudden confrontation jolts both protagonists. Their evolving rapport resists sentiment, yet becomes deeply moving. Themes converge into a rousing meditation on self-creation. The novel argues that parenthood can be collaborative art, not hierarchical duty. Language emerges as both shelter and weapon for marginal minds. By mastering many tongues, Ludo refuses any imposed narrative about worth. Film references highlight remix culture before the term was fashionable. DeWitt suggests genius thrives on porous borders between disciplines. Yet she acknowledges cost, isolation, exhaustion, and endless second-guessing. The climax avoids Hollywood sentiment, delivering earned, understated release. Readers finish exhilarated and slightly dazed, like stepping from an IMAX marathon. Importantly, the book resists declaring a single moral. Instead, it opens space for your own epistemic adventure. That invitation feels radical within today's algorithmic certainty. You close the pages ready to chase difficult passions. Philosophers appear in cameo, from Aristotle to Wittgenstein, sparking miniature debates. Each reference functions less as name drop than conceptual springboard. You start mapping your own intellectual genealogy while reading. DeWitt positions curiosity as ethical imperative, not luxury. That stance feels especially urgent in an era of shrinking humanities programs. You may shut the cover, but the questions continue echoing. Read our full deep dive article for more insights and spoiler analysis on the novel.